Tonight on DC News Now at 9, an ambulance taken on a joyride through the district. We'll tell you how that chase ended. Plus, could some DC renters see easing restrictions for owning certain pets? What one council member is doing to make it easier for pet owners to find affordable housing.
Good evening, everyone. Dragging more wet weather going into your Thursday. We'll talk about it coming up.
And cherry trees chopped down around the tidal basin. Did you miss your chance to say goodbye to everyone's favorite, Stumpy?
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan, and we begin tonight with your forecast. Tomorrow's looking a bit gloomy heading into Memorial Day weekend. Taking a live look right now at the radar and also traffic cameras out of Virginia. Right now, the right side of your screen, traffic moving pretty smoothly. This is 95 in Springfield. Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb, not the weather you want to see before the holiday.
Really going into your Monday is kind of the higher impact weather day, and we'll continue to talk about that. As you saw on that screen, everything is nice and clear across the DMV. Saw this cool shot across DC metro area, kind of the leading edge of our next storm system that will provide us with some scattered showers tomorrow. At this point, everything is nice and clear. This is earlier this afternoon where we saw Hagerstown out towards Martinsburg and our western communities deal with a brief stray shower at most. None of that made its way to the DC metro area. All watches have now been expired right on time, really, with no severe thunderstorm watch in place. Currently nice and dry the farther you go to Prince George's County. Dry conditions farther in Hagerstown. I do see a very minimal spot shower outside of Loudoun County, but all in all, here's the weather story. It's the temperatures. Tonight is very mild across the region, 80 degrees for DC, 72 right now for Winchester into Martinsburg. And so tonight it will be another toasty evening across the entire region with dew points fairly high. Tomorrow morning we will start to notice a rise in daytime highs yet again by 9 a.m. still into the lower 70s. Tomorrow not the greatest day across the DMV, but not an alert day, Chris, by any means. We'll check out that forecast in a moment.
Okay, sounds good. Janessa, thanks. Meanwhile, in the district, police right now investigating after someone stole an ambulance and drove it 2 miles through D.C. That ambulance was recovered earlier tonight. It all started in Columbia Heights in Northwest. We're told someone jumped into the ambulance while EMS crews were transferring a patient on 14th and Quincy Streets. A person apparently drove the ambulance south and eventually made it to Howard University Hospital. That's where the ambulance was finally recovered and the person taken into custody. Happening now, Alexandria police are searching for the driver responsible for a deadly hit and run. The driver is accused of hitting 70-year-old James Thompson. Thompson was hit back on May 9th at the intersection of North Jordan Street and Taney Avenue. He died from his injuries over the weekend. Police are now asking any witnesses to please come forward. In the district, keeping pets and people together. A new bill just proposed today aims to do just that, breaking down barriers when it comes to housing and family pets. Our reporter Mariel Carbone is following the story for us tonight. And Mariel, district leaders say many people are turned away from safe housing because of their breed of pets.
Yeah, Chris, and housing in general, it's just difficult with 1 in 10 people facing housing barriers. That's according to the Urban Institute. Now add a pet into the mix and it can make it even more difficult to find a safe place to stay. This new bill aims to address that.
Nakia, she has 2 hobbies. Food and finding new ways to get her 70-pound body on top of me and her dad.
Still, Kaylee McNeil says her pup, listed by the shelter she was adopted from as a bulldog mix, was prohibited from living in her D.C. apartment building.
My landlord didn't care what she looked like. He didn't care if she was aggressive. All that mattered was whether her paperwork labeled her a member of a dangerous breed.
It's a roadblock to housing many families face, and one D.C. is trying to fix.
Too often, a person's beloved animal companion is a barrier.
Wednesday, Councilmember Robert White introduced the Pets and Housing Amendment Act. If passed, the bill in part bans restrictions or differing fees for particular breeds of animals, caps monthly pet rent at $25 a month, and caps pet security deposits at $300.
Makes common sense, but game-changing updates to housing policy in D.C.
Animal advocates with the Humane Rescue Alliance say the bill will help keep families together.
Just last year alone,
over 600 families had to be separated from their pets that they love because of these systemic barriers.
While also addressing racial justice issues, particularly with the breed of pit bulls, which McNeil says became more prominently tied to black culture in the 80s and 90s, leading to racial discrimination.
Black folks, and by extension pit bulls, became unjustly associated with crime, gang violence, drugs, and dogfighting.
It also requires D.C. to provide at least one low-barrier shelter that accepts people with pets. Right now, there is not one. Now, Chris, this legislation, it still needs a vote through council, and we did reach out to the D.C. Landlord Association for comment. We are still waiting to hear back there. In studio, I'm Marielle Carbone, D.C. News Now.
All right, we'll see what happens. Marielle, thanks. Well, new details tonight at 9. A man charged with shooting at a D.C. police captain is being held without bond. And tonight, police tell us he has a criminal record. Rashid Thorne is accused of driving a car away from police after he allegedly shot at a D.C. police captain on Monday. The car then crashed in Landover, and Thorne, along with a second suspect, William Walker, were both taken into custody. Investigators say they saw someone throw a gun from the car, but it's still not clear who. We're also learning Thorne is not allowed to carry a gun because of a prior conviction from last year. Thorne will be back in court July 3rd. The police captain, by the way, who was injured, is okay. Meanwhile, a man who fired more than a dozen rounds at a D.C. police officer last year has been sentenced to 10 years in prison.
Hey, let me see your hands.
This is police body camera footage of that incident from last August. It happened at an apartment building on Benning Road in Northeast. According to court documents, Save Evans fired 3 shots in the air, reacting to someone who was walking near him. The court documents say when police arrived, Evans pointed his gun at an officer and then fired 14 more rounds. Evans will be on 5 years of supervised release when his 10-year sentence is over. And we have new details tonight at 9. It could soon cost more to dine out or get groceries in Fairfax County. The county board put its support behind a plan to look into adding a meals tax in the county. Our Northern Virginia reporter Max Marcilla live tonight in Chantilly. And Max, this would be a big change in Virginia's largest county, but certainly it's not uncommon.
Well, Chris, essentially every county, every city, every town surrounding Fairfax County has a meals tax in place. The only place that doesn't is Loudoun County. Now, we don't exactly know what this tax could look like. It could be anywhere from 1% to 6%, or of course, not at all if supervisors vote it down. So while all of that is worked out, tonight we are going to break down and take a look at what items would be taxed, when it could come into play, and why there is a sudden push for it. The battle over taxing food in Fairfax County has been ongoing for quite a while, but finally there is a potential path forward for a new meals tax.
I just want to make something crystal clear. This is a request for information.
Tuesday, by a 9-1 vote, the county board told its staff to do some analysis and come back by September 17th with details of what a meals tax could look like. Here's what we do know. The items that would be taxed include meals at restaurants, plus prepared items at grocery and convenience stores.
As we look for additional tools to diversify our tax base, we cannot leave any in the toolbox.
Supervisor Dahlia Palchik joined 2 of her colleagues, including Chairman Jeff McKay, in formally proposing this tax analysis. They say they're doing it because the tax burden in the county has shifted and is putting a greater emphasis on real estate taxes, which the board recently voted to increase, but they say this shift is creating an affordability challenge on the residents. They say they had to do so to fully fund the budget, blaming the state's underfunding of schools. But Pat Harity, the board's lone Republican, opposed the request for data on the meals tax.
Because without an increase in spending greater than inflation and population growth, you don't have the need for revenue diversification. So I think we need to look at spending.
Now, we mentioned the county supervisors requested that data by mid-September. There's no vote yet, no vote scheduled for the potential implementation of this meals tax. That is still a ways away, but it is worth noting, if you may remember, this has happened before. In 2016, it actually was up to Fairfax County voters about whether they would approve a meals tax. They declined to take this up, voting no in that election. Worth noting this time around, though, because of a state law, it would never actually go to voters. It would only be up to the Board of Supervisors. Reporting live in Chantilly, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
Also all new tonight, a new Trader Joe's could be coming to D.C., specifically the Brookline Edgewood neighborhood. Documents published by ANC Commissioner Aru Sahini say D.C.'s alcohol authority will decide whether to grant a license by July 29th. A store would go at the corner of Monroe and 7th Streets. That's across from the Chipotle there. This would be D.C.'s 7th Trader Joe's store. Well, crews have now started removing cherry trees around the tidal basin. Don't worry, though, the famous Stumpy is still standing, but his days are certainly numbered. The National Park Service previously announced they'd be removing more than 150 trees, all in an effort to complete construction to the tidal basin's seawall. Park Service says they're waiting on Stumpy to bloom just a bit more, then they'll take his clippings and grow them at the Arboretum. All right, now to the future of the Commanders Stadium. A new survey shows a lot of people want it to be built in D.C. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg is outside of RFK Stadium with a look at the poll numbers.
As the polling suggests, people we talked with today are overwhelmingly in support of a new stadium back here in D.C. In fact, the National Park Service just a few weeks ago said RFK Stadium could be demolished, possibly paving the way for a new one. But there is still a big hurdle in Congress. As more signs point to the district being able to build a new stadium where RFK sits, a new Washington Post Schar School poll says it's what fans want.
Of course we want them here. You know that, man.
The new poll finds 51% of people in the area want the stadium right here in D.C., compared to 44% last year.
It encouraged me to go more often.
Among Commanders fans, that grows to 63%, and among D.C. residents, 76%.
There never was a whole lot of ancillary development ever happen around, what used to be called FedEx Field.
Terry Clower with George Mason University's Schar School says even those in Prince George's County want the stadium in the district. 48% of residents prefer the team return to D.C., while 34% believe it should stay.
Perhaps thinking back to the time of what we could call the old glory days, I guess, if you would, that the team is associated with the district.
Still, some don't want the traffic in town.
I think it should stay exactly where it is.
The Post-Schar poll also found increased support for public funding. Compared to just 30% in 2022, this poll finds 47% of people support D.C. helping to finance a new stadium.
That place used to rock. I mean, I'd love for them to come back here.
Now, the U.S. House passed a bill back in February allowing for the redevelopment of the RFK site. It still has to go through the Senate, and it could be held up by one U.S. senator from Montana who wants the Commanders to honor a Native American family who initially designed the old team's logo. In Southeast, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.